Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Friday the 21st. What a week. Long week. We got Canadian retail sales here in 8 minutes and then market numbers. So market being the company that does the PMI surveys. So let's come to the charts here. Man, is it just me or does it sound a little different in here today? Do I have... I may have moved some things around, and so I don't have the same echo profile in here. Probably the next thing on the list of stuff to do with next month with some income. Okay, so we get so yesterday was just a crazy move up. When it was starting to get up into here. Okay, like this overnight move was like, oh, that's really strong. And this move was like, whoa, okay. And then this was like, okay, they're getting a little silly. And then things kind of stepped in and hampered us a little. There was a story about the Treasury going to be requiring more oversight of Bitcoin transactions and like auditing them and stuff. Hit Bitcoin and the E-mini at the same time. A little concerning to me. But they did eventually move up higher. By the way, I want to note, let's see if I can show you here, if it still shows it from yesterday. When we look at cumulative deltas, okay, like we did not end the day on high cumulative delta. And the amount that we moved up, well, I guess it's 25,000, but some of the things that I'm seeing kind of suggest to me that this move up was driven primarily by gamma and options and that the futures aren't really having a whole lot to do with it. So that's kind of where we're at is there's like this 41.75 area where it looks like we're pinned to or we could get pegged to. So got to be cognizant of that. Over here in the treasuries did back off yesterday, so that's good. That really helps over on that area. The whole taper discussion seems to have really like cooled off. I think this is going to be something that you'll see come back in and out. Like there'll be a taper discussion, it'll be a really bad day, and then the next day they'll act like nothing happened, right? Okay. Oil did pretty poorly yesterday. Still this whole Iran talk supply coming back online affecting the market. They're having a good move this morning. Gold and silver kind of still within their range, as is copper. Copper is still struggling a little bit off of reports that China is going to crack down on the speculation and try to hold the commodity prices back. And then the dollar really the big news here, I think that yesterday getting crushed, really getting crushed, and then in the overnight a little bit too. Kind of a little bit all over the place, to be honest with you. And then we should check on the cryptocurrencies as we come in here. Cryptocurrencies still off their worst levels. There was a little bit of a pullback yesterday, but it looks like they're doing okay. Let me blow my nose. Man. Winston says, is it just me? You sound strong and clear, but the sound is different, deeper bass. I did turn on. So I'll tell you, I did turn on the filters the other day. So that probably is going to change the sound right there, right? Turn the EQ on and off. But last time I messed with you, you guys said you preferred the EQ, so I think I'll leave that on. I don't know. I did move my microphone. I moved it. I got this keyboard, and when I want to do the music production, I have to move everything. I tell you what, it's impossible to do everything that I want to do with my computer on one desk. It really first world problems, right? Okay, so let's turn on the text to speech here. It's also a little warm in here today. That's probably part of it. I just feel uncomfortable for some reason. A more mature, deep voice. Thank you. Actually, that probably is just me. I don't know. I'm not feeling super great this morning, to be honest with you. Like my bowels are kind of feeling icky for I don't know why. Is it something I ate last night? What did we eat? Oh, we had those. Oh man, we did shish kebabs. Cooked them with hickory. Very, very nice. It was very, very nice. So I'm detecting a little bit of flattening here in the curve today. Little bit of flattening. Let's sort out our little window here.
Winston's mom says Gesundheit, Speculator Seth und Gabi, wir werden bald anfangen und du bist in der Regie, den Riesling zu Mittagessen zu bringen. And are the robots awake, Speculator Seth?
Oh yeah, let's turn them on. I was taking another look at Jay yesterday, and there's definitely a thing to like when it gets filled in, it doesn't get filled. So I think that the issue is the reason why the backtest doesn't seem to match the sim performance. It has to do with that. So I'm thinking if I game out where it puts the limit orders a little bit better, or I switch it back over to doing market orders, that should improve it. I'm hoping. But ultimately, I really want to get into, with the level 2 bits in particular, trying to use some sort of a Markov system to determine how it will use the level 2 to pick direction. What did you just use to read for you? Can it be used for articles and whatnot? So I only have it set up to read off of YouTube, and it's a custom script that I wrote. So it's really easy to just send an API request to Google and then get back, the thing. But yeah, could you have it read a whole article? You could. You could. And I'm sure you could find some little apps online that kind of do a similar thing for you, but it's kind of, there's limitations on the API, and if you want to set up like a service that everybody can use, you have to pay them. So, but it's not hard to do yourself, and the code is up there somewhere. I'm too lazy to go find it. It's on GitHub. You can go look at it. Uses JavaScript and Node. Only 7% of investors reported selling securities when asked how they responded to the stock market drop in February of 2018. More than 1 in 5 took the event as an opportunity to buy more stocks. Yeah, buy the dip has definitely become a thing. I'm telling you, it's one of these days, people are gonna
Winston's mum says, TTS my sprinkler goes like this steitsten comes back like titte.
Oh, it didn't do it all the way. Probably need to put spaces in it. Oh, one of these days, it's going to be like, you know, people are going to buy the dip and they're going to get screwed. So I don't think that it's more complicated than that. You can be more sophisticated than that, you know? There is definitely some flattening coming into the curve today. Nobody wants a Chernobyl or Fukushima. Well, we don't need to have a Chernobyl or a Fukushima. So first of all, select a good spot for your power plant. Don't put it right on the seaboard. That's one that I think we learned there, right? I don't think you'll ever see anybody build a nuclear power plant right on the coast again. But there's new designs that you can do. These people on Twitter arguing about nuclear power, I guess. Oh my gosh, I saw this it was one of the guys, what's his name? Hank Green, I think, on TikTok, talking about Bitcoin, because a bunch of people on Bitcoin are like, no, you know, are getting mad at Elon Musk because they're saying, no, Bitcoin runs mostly on renewable power, which is just objectively false. Okay, like, remember this whole thing a couple of weeks ago where a Chinese coal plant went down and a bunch of Bitcoin mining hash rate went away because the power went out? Yeah, it's not on renewable power, guys. And but then he was pointing out that, you know, it's not like you don't think that we would just use that power for other things, right? It's wasting power. It's wasting power. And the thing that, like, it seems like the Bitcoin guys just don't seem to get is that it's just so wasteful. There is all of this energy uses that is being used by Bitcoin, and there are other coins, there's other technology available to us today that does the job better with less power usage. The number of neutrons being produced in an inaccessible room at the ruins of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant is rising, indicating an increase in the rate of nuclear fission. I saw that, and I find it so fascinating. It really makes you wonder what is happening. What kind of chemical reaction or whatever is been happening over the last, 30 years that is changing, and yeah, they're gonna have to continue to do stuff. It's crazy. Good thing they built that shell over it, though, right? Good thing they did that shell. And lower transaction costs. Ethereum and Bitcoin are horrible for transactions. I know, right, Jacob? The way that it works in Ethereum is really, I can't believe that people think that's okay. So, because my understanding with the way that it works in Ethereum is you have to pay gas. You pay gas to do your transaction, and then if the transaction doesn't go through, you just lose the gas. Like, there's situations where your transaction won't go through and you lose the gas. They need to increase the block size, frankly. But you're right. It's like, these other cryptocurrencies don't have those problems. Hence, you have Cardano coming in, doing the same thing as Ethereum and basically taking their coins, because, like, they're allowing them to use their coins on Cardano so that you don't have to use the Ethereum blockchain. Oh, it is so hot in here. What the hell? Okay, hold on. I still do not even get what the point of for crypto even is. I mean, we use debit credit cards to spend USD, and that is electronic. Well, sorry, the heat in here is making me feel like woozy. I don't know. Maybe I probably should. I don't know if I'm going to take many trades today because I not feel so great. It's just hot. So, this you have to go back history wise. So I would have a hard time like empirically proving this to you, but having watched Bitcoin from the beginning, I remember the day on Reddit when the white paper was released. I guess I should have gone all into mining and just building up mining and investing into it, but I never believed in it. Okay. In the beginning, you got to realize the case for a decentralized cash system right here, it really comes down to the reason they want it is to get the government out of it. They don't want the government to have control over their money. This is really what it comes down to. The Federal Reserve System is a very effective system, but you have to realize some people benefit from low interest rates and some people benefit from high interest rates. Okay, and the regular person, if you are saving, if you want to save, then you don't benefit from inflation, right? You would rather the interest rates be high and reduce inflation. And you would much rather not have the 2% inflation target that the Federal Reserve has, right? So Bitcoin has really always been about that. They want a currency that is not controlled by a government. So the problem with that is I think everybody kind of realizes that government will come in and it will be like, okay, you can't pay us in Bitcoin. You can't pay your taxes in Bitcoin. They're going to regulate it. They're going to, if Bitcoin became a threat to the fiat currencies, they would ban it. And everybody knows it. And so when Bitcoin started out, it was derided for this reason. Like, that was the argument that people made against it. And so the Bitcoin supporters, realizing that they weren't going to convince people on such an ideological point, shifted their strategy. And instead of talking about the benefits of having a currency not controlled by a government, they shifted the conversation to, oh, you can do transactions faster. In particular, they focused on that you could do these transactions. They were free. They happened faster than a money transfer, right? But then the blockchain, the block size argument came along, and there was a certain section of people that really had the most power that wanted to keep the block size small because they believe that it will be advantageous for miners. It won't cost as much money for miners to maintain because if you're mining, you need like the whole blockchain on that machine, right? So the larger the block size is, the more space you potentially have to use, right? There's all these things. So the miners don't want the block size to be larger, but in order to handle the number of transactions, you have to make it bigger. And Satoshi always planned on making it bigger again. So then you had the Bitcoin Cash fork, right? So in the 2017 rise, there was the argument about the block size, and the small blockers won, not because it was a better system, but because they had more power and everybody just went along with Bitcoin. And because they were invested in Bitcoin, they, that's what they believe. It wasn't a logical thing. It was an investment decision. Right. But then we come back to this time around, because there was another, people were starting to make the argument in 2017, but it wasn't really catching on. And now over this last little while, now that has caught on, the amount of power that Bitcoin is using, right? Mark my words. There is a fourth problem, and next cycle, I think that fourth problem will become a center point. Bitcoin is deflationary, which means that when you have a crash, the entire Bitcoin economy almost completely deflates. And it's like everybody's starting from zero again. So in order to resolve that problem, you need to have like a Federal Reserve. That's why the Federal Reserve exists, is to be able to jumpstart the economy after and prevent deflation. And I mean, have, of course, also price stability, so prevent hyperinflation, but have a small amount of inflation. It's really what it's all about. So there are some coins that kind of handle that sort of thing too that are really interesting. I don't believe, though, that a market-based, completely 100% market-based Federal Reserve type of system would work. What about inflation? You need, in order to have a healthy economy, you need to have a certain amount of inflation in the economy. And they have found from experience, and I don't know how they calculated this originally, but a 2% inflation target. What is the word that they use? It's a reflective. So if it goes above, they want it to come back. And if it goes below, they want it to come back. Oh, you can't tip me because YouTube doesn't allow you to? Oh, by the way, I didn't show you change in here because I don't think it turned on. I want to pepper you guys with ads. I'm going to turn ads on. Man, have you just donated too much money to people? That's kind of weird. What does it tell you when you do that? I don't know. Had some bacon, a banana, and yogurt. And I don't know. Maybe that wasn't enough. Failed transaction. Oh, that's kind of weird. Anyways, if you don't have that inflation, then essentially people don't have an incentive to spend money, right? And then you get these dramatic cycles, right? XRP case news this afternoon. Oh, really? Well, maybe you want to be, I think that longer term XRP would be a good coin from the fundamentals. I had avoided it because I felt that it had been pumped up too high. And I think that has borne out this past year. But now that it's down there and it looks like maybe that will get resolved somehow. I don't know. Really, they should have a stock. They have a point. They're trying to turn this into a security and flout security laws, which isn't okay. But the XRP technology is fast. By the way, nice to see you again, Anthony. I was kind of wondering where you were because you weren't around when we had the big crash. Didn't see you that day. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Freaking TikTok. Okay. So on 4chan. Hold on a second. I'm gonna catch my breath here. I'm okay. I'm just uncomfortable. I am maybe feeling a little bit woozy, but I could test my blood sugar. That might be if I really start to feel that. That would be fun. Drink a glass of water or juice with ice in it. Chill your, yeah. So it's like 72 degrees in here, and it's like 70 in the hall, and I'm like sweating a little bit. Not bad. The thing is I had kind of given up on the blood sugar theory. Okay, so anyways, what I wanted to talk about. On 4chan, there was a thread where a person claimed the day that we were going down, somebody started posting on 4chan claiming that they were a part of a group of whales that were planning on tanking the market. They were planning on tanking the market to take out an individual player. This is the claim. They're going to take out the market so that they could force liquidate some person. And there was rumors going around about who it was. I'm not going to say the name because I believe that might be a person opportunistically trying to, create PR for themselves. To say, they're pushing the price down to get me and I'm on your side and that sort of a thing, I'm really hyper suspicious about the whole thing. So here's the thing. Because of market order impact, the whole idea of like tanking the whole cryptocurrency market at 50% to take out one player is kind of silly and dumb. Because you're going to lose money on that transaction in the long run. Like you want to accumulate down at the bottom. Like it doesn't work that way, guys. Because of market impact and sign change. And there are some things where you can kind of take advantage of that, but it's like a really risky trade. Now, Bitcoin went down because it's speculative in nature and it's too high, and the whole Elon Musk thing kind of popped the bubble. And we'll see where they can go from here if they can kind of sustain it. I'm really skeptical about enough new people jumping on board for them to make new all-time highs. But they're saying, the top of this cycle will be 100,000. And there's even some people out there that have been making kind of calls like this that have been pretty accurate in terms of like price levels and timing and everything, that also kind of piques people's suspicion that, maybe it's because they know because of the whales, I was having fun watching my portfolio crash. Yeah. Anyways, I think it's probably a hoax. But here's the thing. On TikTok, freaking every video I was seeing was about this thing. There was that and the Wyckoff, and they were always tied together. They're saying they're creating a Wyckoff distribution to manipulate the market. Seriously, I mean, it was like several dozen creators, and all of these had thousands of views behind them. All making like practically the same video. I find that really suspicious. And yeah, I don't believe the story at all. I mean, first of all, it's on 4chan, it's unverified, but second of all, it contradicts what we know about how the order book works. There's still some flattening going on in the curve, but treasuries haven't moved much. E-mini hasn't moved much, down a little bit. It's super quiet. Could have been the worst, but I have pretty good cash resistant alts. Well, it's just kind of what happens from here. Like, the issue is that I'm concerned, as I was last cycle, that if you see a complete collapse, and well, so there's two things. One is there's a lot of focus this time around on the stock to flow model. My model kind of uses some of the same concepts as stock to flow, but there's more involved. They're not factoring in the money actually coming into the system. Okay. Like, the demand here is a really key factor, and the stock to flow model doesn't factor that in. So everybody thinks there's this certain price that they need to meet based on the stock to flow model. And I'm sitting here like, okay, guys, if everybody knows it, then it would go just right to where the stock to flow model says it should be, and then it would be done, you know? And if everybody knows that there's going to be a dip based on the stock to flow model cycle sort of a thing, then they're going to sell out early. They're going to sell out early. Like, they're not smart enough to game it out and say, well, if I know this, then everybody must know this. And what decisions are they going to make based off of that? And am I going to have to do to maintain an edge over them? Right? So here it goes down. Everybody wants to buy the dip. The dip is a 50% dip. Well, based on last cycles, there was multiple 50% dips throughout the year, and they maintained that up until December. And what I'm kind of suggesting is that because of that, might not happen that way again, right? Of course, some whales are crashing. Yeah, but again, if you come around and you say, okay, I'm going to sell X thousand to push it down, and then I'm going to buy X thousand to bring it back up, you will net lose money. You will net lose money. You have to be more sophisticated than that because of your market impact. It's like people correctly understand that a whale can have market impact and push the price down. What they don't realize is that there's a lot of inefficiency involved in doing that, and that they have to basically spend cash to do those sorts of things. And so you move price around to try and manipulate people. You don't necessarily make money from it. There's probably a lot of whales people that don't understand this and are trying it for the first time. But if you notice that those kinds of moves, like the BARTs, for instance, are less common now, it's because those whales realized that they were losing money from doing it. I feel like hot. I don't want to talk so much. And the market is just completely dead right now, huh? Well, I'm feeling a little hungry again, so I'm going to eat this croissant. Cyber Viking? I didn't see that. I don't see that tweet. I'll tell you what, though, something I see from reading his Twitter feed is that he really believes in Dogecoin. It seems to me like he's trying to pump Dogecoin at the expense of Bitcoin. So I clicked in there. That was a bad trade. And like as soon as I took it, I'm like, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Why am I doing that? Ooh, a stock split coming in on NVIDIA. That's cool. Four for one stock split to begin trading on July 20th. Very cool. Is everybody going to buy it because of that again? Like they did with Tesla? Gonna pull the 5-year up there. See, and there's like absorption against it. It's crazy. Nobody's selling into 19 in the 10-year though. Bloomberg putting out a story about buy the dip. So where it's like, I really still feel that Bitcoin is overbought and that an 80% decline is long overdue. But because this is the first time that we've had a major dip through all of this, I'm kind of skeptical about it just like immediately flipping down and going lower right away. What's this? Is there another study out? 71% of retail CFD accounts lose money? I don't know. I wonder why they're tweeting that. It might just be my guts. I'm kind of having some gas, and I'm wondering if, and it was kind of, I was in a little bit of pain while I was sleeping, and I'm wondering if my bowels moving around, and that's what's making me feel kind of uncomfortable. Tesla price target lowered at Bank of America, citing sliding valuation. I'm seeing a bunch of changes here. Virgin Galactic raised to buy a UBS. Datadog raised to overweight by Morgan Stanley. I see Tommy here saying if your bond can close above 169.32, I may well see some trend up stop run next week. Treasuries do still seem like they're kind of in a mean reversion, like they want to come back kind of a mode. As I'm surprised, given the fears in the stock market and concerns over a taper, that the treasuries didn't push down more. But it was like the stock market was crashing, and that kind of became a flight to safety to some extent. They're not pushing those low levels that we had. We are really getting a strong flattener. So much so that the 10-year ticked up 3 ticks, and the 5-year actually ticked down 1. So it's a very unusual. Well, often what you'll see is they'll all move up, but this one will move more than the others or whatever. But we actually saw them go opposite directions. Hedge fund VIP basket, which is dominated by tech stocks, has matched its worst 3-month performance drop on record. The hedge funds have been doing really poorly lately, for sure. Well, the 5-year finally succeeded in pulling it down. What's for today? I'm gonna guess that the S&P 500 will get pinned to 4175. But I'm clearly not thinking well here. Like, so let's do this one here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm being dumb. And it's like I'm not thinking things through for some reason. I'm not feeling good. It's too early to say. And the 5-year dragged the treasuries down there. I just think the action that we saw yesterday has a lot of telltale signs of options melt up, options gamma melt up. Ergo, we should see them get pinned to the key strike price, which is 41.75. Financial Times is tweeting out a story about how much electricity Bitcoin uses. And that pulled too quickly, so that's why I didn't take the fill on it. Bum, 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 ba-dum. At 5-year don't want to stay down. Doesn't want to come up at all, huh? Okay, so it looks like the 30 and the 10 are dragging the 5-year back up. I did read there in 19.5 correctly that it wouldn't take very many contracts to make it tick up, and that was the case. Would you like to know how they say planetary aspects will affect the market? Sure. So the one thing I do know about that is that it's like when certain cycles begin in the planets, that they think that certain cycles will begin in the markets. Yeah. Let's see here. Venus will enter Mrigashira Nashak blah 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 and can join Mercury on the 23rd. Saturn in Capricorn will attain retrograde. Demand in jaggery, sugar, crude, and gold will be noticed in MCX and NCDEX. Sun will enter Rohini. Man, there's just a lot of words that I don't understand at all. Technically speaking, the Saturn Aquarius is news. Is it really? There was too many. You see, I probably could pronounce them. Blah, 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 blah. No, I'm fine. I'm not having a stroke, not yet. My brain does feel a little bit like mush at the moment, though. It's just too hot in here. I wonder why that is. Is it just because this room is like on the edge? It can't be hot outside already. 7:30? Must still be cool outside. So it's got to be something in this room causing the heat, you know? Maybe the camera. The camera would definitely cause heat. Yeah, maybe I need to be turning the camera off. You see that level break setup at the high of the day? I don't know. The level breaks have been going okay lately. Okay, I mean, they're still not. They're still pretty iffy, but they've been doing better more often than not. Still not one I could take unless I'm really seeing strong momentum. Paul Krugman on Technobabble, Libertarian Derp, and Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. Am I going to read an article by Paul Krugman where I agree with him? Man, I'm feeling a little bit more lucid. All right, let's read this article by Mr. Krugman. A number of readers have asked me to weigh in on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies whose fluctuations have dominated a lot of market news. Would I please comment on what it's all about and what is going on? Well, I can tell you what it's about. What's going on is harder to explain. The story so far, Bitcoin, the first and largest cryptocurrency, was introduced in 2009. It uses an encryption key similar to those used in hard to break code, sends to crypto to establish change of ownership, blah, 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 blah. And nowadays we use Bitcoin to buy houses, cars, bury bills, and make business investments and more. Oh, wait, we don't do any of those things. 12 years on, cryptocurrencies play almost no role in normal economic activity. Almost the only time we hear about them being used as a means of payment, as opposed to speculative trading, is in association with illegal activity, like money laundering or the Bitcoin ransom colonial pipeline paid to hackers who shut it down. 12 years is an eon in information technology time. Venmo, which I can use to share restaurant bills, buy fresh fruit at sidewalk kiosks, and much more, was also introduced in 2009. Apple unveiled its first generation iPad in 2010. Zoom came into use in 2012, and by the time a technology gets as old as cryptocurrency, we either expect it to have become part of the fabric of everyday life or had to have been given up as a non-starter. Well, he is right, but I don't think that is somehow predictive of what the technology will do in the future. Unfortunately. By the way, I do want to know, when we moved up, they went up on like maybe 400 contracts. When we came down, they had to sell 4,000, 2,000 to get through it. It looks like the 10 and the 30 are more than willing to buy up there and go into the highs, but the 5-year is being really stubborn. This article is kind of boring. Where's the meat? Where's the big thing? Now, a long-running Ponzi scheme requires a narrative, and the narrative is where crypto really excels. First, crypto boosters are very good at technobabble, using arcane terminology to convince themselves and others that they're offering a revolutionary new technology, even though blockchain is actually pretty elderly by infotech standards and has yet to find any compelling uses. Second, there's a strong element of libertarian derp. Assertions that fiat currencies, government-issued money without any tangible backing, will collapse any day now. True, Britain, whose currency is still standing, last time I looked, went off the gold standard 90 years ago, but who's counting? Given all this, are cryptocurrencies headed for a crash sometime soon? Not necessarily. One fact that gives crypto skeptics like me pause is the durability of gold as a highly valued asset. Gold, after all, suffers from pretty much the same problems as Bitcoin. People may think of it as money, but it lacks any attributes of a useful currency. You can't actually use it to make transactions. Try buying a new car with gold ingots, and its purchasing power has been extremely unstable. Yeah. So when John Maynard Keynes called the gold standard a barbarous relic way back in 1924, he wasn't wrong. I agree with him. But the metal's mystique and its valuation live on. It's conceivable that one or two cryptocurrencies will somehow achieve similar longevity. Probably. Or maybe not. For one thing, governments are well aware that cryptocurrencies are being used by bad actors and may well crack down in a way they never did on gold trading. Also, the proliferation of cryptocurrencies may prevent any one of them from achieving the semi-sacred status gold holds in some people's minds. I disagree with him somewhat on the meaningful economic role. Because if that was the case, the Federal Reserve and the Treasury wouldn't be talking about making a digital dollar. There's definitely a use. The primary argument of that article is objectively false. Yeah, because why they're making a digital dollar. There's definitely a use for it. It's just the libertarian bent on it. He's right. The whole thing that like fiat currencies are going to crash and you want to have all your money in cryptocurrency, it's never going to happen. Can you place a buy stop and a sell stop at the same time on the same market in NinjaTrader 8? I suppose you could write something to do that. Sure. How long until the Netflix to buy GameStop rumors start? Gosh dang it, Zero Hedge. Stop it. Stop it. We don't need that. What do you mean you really tried and it does not work? Like you made code that does that? I mean, replacing them at the exact same moment may be difficult, but I can still like hear in the E-mini. See? Oh, what's going on? The E-mini is having a more volatile and mixed open than they normally do. Can I develop my own Bloomberg terminal? I've read that I can, but not as good as Bloomberg. No, not even close. Yeah, so there. If you go on Reddit, there have been a couple of people that have created web applications that they claim to be like a Bloomberg terminal. They do stuff. They provide some information, but like the thing that you gotta to realize is that the amount of information. There is so much valuable information in a Bloomberg terminal that a lot of retail traders wouldn't even realize how valuable the information that they're looking at is. You know what I mean? Yeah, M-Maker's got it. Bloomberg value is in the data. So, for instance, on a Bloomberg terminal, I can see what the cash value is of individual bond issues. I can see what the value of the individual issues in the repo market is. And, a retail trader would be like, okay, that's cool, except for that I don't trade bonds. Yeah, except for that you can literally go in and look at how they're priced and go, okay, this is how they're priced compared to the futures. And if I do the conversion factor, I can buy this bond and sell the future and then deliver it and literally pocket $100,000. Well, not 100,000. Literally pocket like $1,000 for free, like arbitrage kind of stuff. It's, and a retail trader would look at it. They wouldn't even realize that it's a significant piece of information that they have, right? They just think like stocks. Oh, stocks. I can see all the stocks. That's cool. I get more news. You know what I mean? WTF, how did you do that? I just came in and I said, I want to sell stop here and I want to buy stop here on the DOM. That's not a NinjaTrader. Let's see here, over here. Well, I don't even use the chart trader in NinjaTrader. How can I get a Bloomberg terminal? I can't afford $25,000. I don't think you can. I think that they have pretty good hardware stuff. I don't know. I've never tried searching for cracked versions of Bloomberg terminals. I don't think you can do it though. I think that you have to have their keyboard and their little dongle plugged in, or else the software won't work. Yeah, and then there's like the data part too, of course. But oh man, and it's like $60,000 a year. Can't afford $25,000. Well, here's what you got to do, guys. Keep pushing my YouTube channel. Go watch all of my TikToks. Every time you see TikTok, watch the whole TikTok. Laugh so that the Chinese monitoring software can see you, and then give the video a like. Okay, so that we can have a following of hundreds of thousands of people on TikTok. Go follow Stock Market Steve. Okay, and then we will make millions of dollars, and I can use a Bloomberg terminal, and then, I can help you out a little bit, maybe. Obviously, I can do anything illegal, like giving you the data, but I think that if I had it, it could be beneficial to you, right? Right? I opened an account on Interactive Brokers and found out I can't day trade the US 30 in crypto. Which professional broker can you suggest? Really, why not? Well, so if you want to trade futures, you should get a futures-specific broker. Interactive Brokers isn't terrible for that, but you're going to be happier with EdgeClear or AMP or NinjaTrader Brokerage if you're going to trade futures. And if you're on a small account and you want to day trade, futures are a more suitable mechanism for that. Okay. Just realize that the majority of futures traders lose money, and it's incredibly hard. What's the wire service you used to have? I still have it. Oh, you know what? I'm not hearing it, by the way. You make sure I have that on. You have to manually start it now, which, kind of throws me off. You get tired of these endless bull opens. Well, look at the cumulative delta change isn't that much, but it was like I was saying, like that 75 area, it's probably a magnet. Let's see though. Maybe above 75, maybe it just turns into buy all the gamma and it just moves up and moves up. I'm going to build my own terminal. Screw Michael Bloomberg. Yeah, if you can get the market data. Listen, if you can get me market data for live market data for cash treasuries, I would love that. Actually, you know what you can do? You can get Quick Strike and you can get some of that information for about $100 a month. No. So the service that I have on in the background, that you guys can't hear, it's always on and I hear it, but I have it set up so that you can't hear it, is Financial Juice. $70 a month for a live news squawk. And basically what they're doing, my understanding of it is that they are paying the special fee for Bloomberg to be able to disseminate the information back out to people. So yeah, by the way, I should probably now it goes up, but I was in that for way too long. Yeah, so Financial Juice, and you get a live news squawk that you hear over the Juice, Juice. You think that anything to do with Jewish people is anti-Semitic, eh? It's like the word Jew is anti-Semitic somehow with you. I don't get it. I really like Jewish people, by the way. I tell you, like, it's all just like anecdotal experience sort of a thing. But if there is a group of people on this planet that like has been universally nice to me and fun to be around, it has been Jewish people, like Orthodox Jews. Well, maybe not Orthodox, but I mean they wear the hat, you know. Jewish people are not. See, now that was maybe a little. I need to stop messing with the microphone here. Well, the email is just like a bull run. Look at that. Big old order right there. Chasing them up. Oh, my, oh, my. Okay, well, that one wasn't worth quite as much as I thought it would be, but I'm going with that. Oh, and now they move up, huh? I swear, I really feel sometimes like somebody's watching me in the treasuries and they're like, well, we're not going to let Seth win. We're not going to help him out. I know I'm like tilt mode. I'm like, I'm all pissed. I'm like, okay, I've got it right. I'm going to double up and show you who's boss. Not who's boss. It's not even a real order, dude. Why you gotta be like that? You can't let Seth have one measly tick? Oh, I take that back. He did give me a tick earlier, so I was just dumb. I didn't take the profit. I probably could have held that short in the E-mini, but I didn't want to. So is that order chasing it up, and with the degree of the move and everything, I was like, yeah, they're gonna when they fill through that, they're gonna sell through it. But I didn't want to wait for it to come all the way down, because I was just trading off of that one little thing, so it came down and it stopped. I got out. Now that the 5 years back up to 08 half, though. Step aside, Amazon, there's a new most popular hedge fund darling stock. What is it? Oh, we must know. Oh, the clickbait. Facebook. Why? I don't get that one. Oh, man. I've seen so many people on TikTok that are like, oh, yeah, Facebook is so great. And I'm sitting here like, Anyways, went long at 73. Well, they're kind of trying to make another move back up. See, I think I made the right choice by getting out quick. Somebody explained to me what is so great about Facebook, okay? Because I see an old website that nobody wants to use anymore. Yeah, I'm just not into it. No, that's it. Oh, really? Oh, really? I'm not sure what to think about that one. Little surprised to see a slip like that in that specific location. Where did it occur at? Was it right there? That one's a little fishy, maybe. Yeah, that seems a little fishy to me. Brick and mortar stuff got hammered by the lockdown, by e-commerce based ones operate majority by Facebook. Okay, so that's a good point. I do search Facebook Marketplace, and that seems to be doing well for them. Oh yeah, we're going to get the market numbers here now. So the manufacturing, they're looking for a reading of 60 spot 2 and services 64 spot 5. You know what I say? I say we YOLO it. Say we YOLO it. And give this a little bit of extra room. Higher than forecast. Oh dear. Actually, treasuries seem to react harder to it than the E-mini did. 61 spot 5 versus forecast 60 spot 2, and which one was the that was the manufacturing. Where's the services? Services 70 spot 1 versus 64 spot 4. Yes, very good numbers. Very good numbers. And the E-mini is selling on this, Oh, the dollar is going up. That could be why. This is very curious. So yeah, I shouldn't have. I didn't even think. You see, I'm not all there. I don't know what my deal is today, but I was thinking YOLO. Okay, yeah, take this long, but then why would I still want to be long into that? No, I should have been closing that out, right? Yeah. Growth would have been even stronger had it not been for business often being constrained by supply shortages and difficulties filling vacancies. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going through all these rich people that should be punished. Well, listen, if you can prove in a court of law that they're guilty of a crime, then I'd be all for it, all right? See, I'm so dumb, guys. Why am I so not thinking today? I didn't get it. I had a good night's rest. Oh, we don't need that. Okay. I guess I didn't have a great night's rest. This over here in the E-mini, I'm gonna put my stop back to a standard stop and puke it. The reason I'm so it wouldn't be a crazy necessarily to hold a trade through that news if I thought it was positive. So I was like, oh, I think the numbers are going to be good. So I want to buy the E-mini. But then I didn't come over here and think, oh yeah, I should manage and exit my scalp over here in the treasuries too. Why didn't I do that? You know what I'm on? You know what I mean? Are you deviating from your rules today? Yeah, it wasn't so much a deviation from my rules as it was just an outright wrong decision. Yeah. I knew the news was coming in and I knew which direction the news was going to be. And it didn't cross my mind that, oh, if the news is good, that's going to hit the treasuries down. right? So it's like I'm not thinking things completely through for some reason. So that's why I'm mad at myself. Interestingly enough, though, the E-mini is not so happy about this news. Seems to me that the E-mini is thinking, oh, this is going to increase the possibility of a taper. Yeah? Seems like that's what's going on here. And the 5-year knew it the whole time. It's also weird because I can't recall the 745 market PMI numbers being that influential in the past. But then when I think about what they're telling us, and that's another thing, is I should have realized that number was more important than it normally is. Yeah. I need to get, I need to have a good restful weekend. That's what I need, man. Increasing cost burdens continue to be felt as the rate of input price inflation soared to new record survey high, often linked to a further marked worsening of supplier performance. Noted were increases in PPE, fuels, metals, and freight costs amid significant supplier delays. Yeah, transitory hyperinflation, folks. Record rates of inflation registered for both goods and services as the soaring demand boosted firms' pricing power. Okay. Well, that is all very curious. Some pretty good absorption down at the low in the 10-year, but yeah. That means there's more to go. Seth is lagging on trade. Are you saying that my data is a little slow, you think? I'm just slow today. Like my brain is not all there. It feels like mush. Like I'm mad because like that was a trade that like I should have been able to catch like good, do really well on. Because even here when I flipped, I'm doing well on it, right? So what was my deal? Why didn't I think that one through? Why didn't I have a plan going into that news? It's just. Well, I shouldn't be too hard on myself. You can make mistakes sometimes, right? ES looks like NQ. I don't get what you mean by that. I bet you that helped the cryptocurrencies, huh? No, maybe not. Maybe not. They are going through that way too easily. So we got another one coming up here, right? So let's think this through. I think consumer confidence flash May estimate negative 6.8 is going to be higher than that. Existing home sales 2%. Existing home sales has been the homes numbers has been difficult. So we want to get out of this. Yes. Okay, stop running the E-mini on a break of the high. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. It's out of that one. Now over here in the E-mini, so my judgment here is I'm going to walk through this more than I normally would. Okay, so the consumer confidence is going to be a European number. So that's one thing. That maybe doesn't matter so much. Okay, but existing home sales does. This is not a piece of news that is super relevant to the E-mini. I think that whatever this number is going to be, maybe there's an initial reaction, especially if there's a reaction into the treasuries, but then the E-mini turns around and ignores it anyways and pushes up. That's what the E-mini looks like to me today, right? But over here in the treasuries, I think there's a really good chance that those numbers once again disappoint and we get a short little move back up. If it's not, if those numbers are a lot better than expected, then we want to just sell right into it, right? So I could put a stop limit there just in case. Okay, so we got 40 seconds here. Okay, it was less than expected. Yeah, it was very, very bad. Actual negative 2.7 versus an expected 2%. So what happened there? We made a mistake. It said to us, Seth, you need to pay attention. We paid attention. We did good. Rabobank, the sudden meme is that the surge in inflation we had been seeing is now over. Yeah, I don't think so. I think what we're going to see on inflation is this. The June report is going to be bad. The July report is probably going to be bad. After that, it might cool off, and then it will be back to, okay, actually, it is transitory. Okay, so that's interesting. So some aggressive pushes down in the interest rate there. Or in the 10-year there. Ugly, 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 ugly. And look, the 5-year really stacking on it too. Interesting. So somebody really wants to sell it despite the housing numbers, huh? Five-year. Yeah, the 5-year, the driver here again. Well, Mini seems fine. They did decline off of the news a little bit, but they seem fine over there in the E-mini. What is the name of this software? Is there a record? So you're talking about the DOMs? If you go to my main channel page, I have a video called "What is the best futures trading software platform?" where I talk about what I use. But I use Jigsaw. I use Jigsaw Day Trader as my DOMs, and I believe I have an affiliate link. Oh, actually, you know what? There was an issue with that affiliate link, and we never fixed it. Let me come back and fix that. Copy link. And I have it right. I don't know why. I thought that was wrong. Nah, if you go in the video description, I have an affiliate link for Jigsaw. That if you buy from that link, then it helps the channel out. Curious kind of action. This is like there's a move up and then they came back in. So this move back down to here. Normally I would read that as like, oh, we just got sucked into the vacuum, but there was a decent amount of volume that traded it to there, you know? So I don't think that that's what happened. Oh, wow. The pace of sales is slowing, but it's a sticker shock, not a drop in demand. Forex Live median U.S. home sales price in April was $341K versus $310K in February. Yes. Hence why they're trying to flip it back around, because they're saying that the housing numbers, it's not that they're going to keep the interest rates low, it's that the prices are too high, ergo. Gotcha. Okay. Rick Palacios, here's mid-May month home builder channel check I hinted at earlier. Builders are pushing prices with little pushback, though some builders are using price escalators and highest best offer, many limiting pre-sales, shifting to spec and pricing home later in build cycle. The E-mini falling apart there. So let's see here. We got we had one. Oh, that one was break even, right? Yep. Little slippage on it. So I'm wondering here now in the E-mini, because that fell apart, if there's not some opportunity short. Explosion in sales of 1 million plus homes. Saying Zero Hedge is pointing out that homes that are worth more than $1 million, there is a lot more of them. 750K, there's a lot more of them, but not nearly as much. And then when you get down into, the lower end, like below 250K, it's some of them are going down. Like in the West where I live, less than 250K, it's down 35%. So what's happening is, the rich are paying more for houses, essentially. Okay, well, that other one almost got filled. Of course, as soon as I decide to go short, the E-mini is like, oh, no, it's fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're going to buy it. That's also, by the way, the third straight month of home sales tumbling. Bitcoin seems to be doing okay. 41,680. It's still not acting as like the straight inflation hedge. By the way, silver and gold getting hit here as the rates increase. What I've been seeing this morning, there's a story about an iceberg larger than Long Island just broke off. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that happens every year. Like, that's a normal part of the spring. Ah. So there's quite a bit there at 13.5. Let's watch that. We definitely, now the treasuries are been in lockstep for the most part, except for the 30-year, maybe a little bit lagging. Well, no, I'm not sure about that one. That might have just been how my thing reset. When I look at the spread, it's flattening between the 10 and the 30. But when I look at my DOM, it says that the 30 went more. Yeah, so they just smashed right through it. Didn't really, yeah. China reiterates call for crackdown on Bitcoin mining and trading. Uh-oh. This is Vice Premier Liu? I'm not seeing that on Twitter. Oh, Bitcoin took the hits. Yes, sir. They are now negative on the day in Bitcoin. Oi. Oi, yep. Yep, and the E-mini don't seem to like that either. Again, the headline is China calls for a crackdown on Bitcoin mining and trading. Wow, really? Guru Leak says we're hearing lots of traders blowing up their accounts, attempting to follow their guru shorting stocks. Be very careful who you follow. Your guru has millions in subscriber fees to fall back on, and you don't. I really like this guy, by the way. Guru Leaks, one on Twitter. I think he just seems like he's just like a regular guy that just, decided he was going to try and find all of the gurus on Twitter and expose them. I'm all for it. Well, I'm disappointed they didn't get filled at 12F. I think that a little bit of risk off demand came in, maybe. There was more there on the 10-year. The other ones didn't seem to have a whole lot of volume on it, though. Yeah, he is Mr. Liu from China. It sounds to me like he basically woke up today and said, all right, my job is to push the cryptocurrency market down as much as I can. Because he is saying more. Zero Hedge comments, China furious that the digital yuan is a total flop so far and unleashes another round of anti-crypto news. Yep. Maybe. We want to harshly punish financial criminal acts and clamp down on illegal securities activities. I should move this over here. I will switch it to our more granular chart. What is this? This is, it's a 1 minute chart. Okay, so you can see Bitcoin below 4,000 now. And E-mini pushing below the open. Okay, this flip in volume that we've seen in the E-mini could be a big deal. I don't want to get too excited. I'm looking at that. I'm like, if they push through that open, this could turn into full on down move in the E-mini. Yeah. And is it possible, though, that you get the E-mini and the treasuries moving down at the same time? Seems like also, by the way, that maybe gold is picking up a little bit of a bid as Bitcoin gets hit there. Oh, man, this could be so bad. Like Bitcoin is really vulnerable right now, right? Okay, there's the treasury coming back down. You gonna fill me this time, bud? Fine. Be that way. Be that way. Sergio, hey, welcome back. How are you? I like this guy because he always says hi. Huh? And now he's talking about other stuff, not cryptocurrencies. He's talking about imported inflation. Boeing stock surges on report of 737 MAX output boost. That might be one worth looking at. Yeah, Bitcoin's going down again. Bitcoin sells again on negative China headlines. Bum, bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. Dude, I don't know if it would really happen. I don't know. Like it's going down off of that news and everything, but it's just kind of like informed trading, lackadaisical. I'm not seeing panic over there yet, you know? I'm not seeing panic over there yet. In the E-mini, I'm starting to detect a little hint of panic. Like that flipped hard, and there was a pretty big sell there up at 41.74, and it's continued down. Yeah. See, they're not quite so the E-mini is kind of like sitting on the edge right now. Yeah. So they're right there on the open. If you get another move and they're able to establish momentum below the open, then you could get a move that could be very devastating. But for now, they're not going for it. Did any news break? Okay, so the headline was from China's Liu. It's a finance minister of some sort. Reiterates call for crackdown on Bitcoin mining and trading. So China will reiterate, i.e. repeat what it has said, the same news every day until Bitcoin hits zero. It could be. I mean, I think they're saying that they're going to be even more strict about it. Like, there's still a lot of mining in China, right, guys? It's a real problem. It's a real problem. And I think that Bitcoin is, even if it's already old news, I think that it's still justified to sell on it. You can tell that Zero Hedge obviously has a strong position in Bitcoin. Okay, there's the mini down. Are you going to do it again? I have to read that later. There's a decent amount of volume going through at 13, but they haven't been able to trade into 12.5 yet. Well, I don't know. The E-mini over here, they've been oscillating around that open quite a bit. There's just like the panic is just not there yet. Do I think it's going to come? I don't know. Why do I think that? Well, I think that the piece of news is still that we saw two economic indicators here coming in the form of the PMI and in the form of the home sales that were both indicating more inflation. That's I think that's the trade here. And so even though there's probably a lot of bulls in the E-mini that are going to want to ignore that and everything, I think that the informed traders are going to win out and that the E-mini is going to push down. And because of the way that the gamma works below 41.75, they start selling. So again, if they pick up volume, I think that we have a good risk reward here trade in that if it goes down, it could go really far. Like here's where I think you would buy like straddles, expecting the volatility to increase from here, right? And I also note that we are getting like positive equity treasury correlation. They're both going down. No, it feels like we're running out of possible negative news to hit the market. What else can even happen at this point? Larry, stop. Larry, don't say those things. Please don't say things like this. Zero Hedge is so triggered. Dude, get it. Come on. It's like, somebody bought the dip, didn't they? I know. They're not, they're not to 30.5 yet. It's okay. I think the issue, though, kind of the issue here is when you look at this chart, right? Yeah, there you go. You see this chart down at the bottom of the screen in the cryptocurrency? It's like down, and then they're like, woohoo, it's good. But then, lower low. So now it's not so clear that this is a buy the dip, right? And then if this turns into this and they get below 30,000, then it's really like, okay, 80% decline. Like I think that 50K would be a pretty easy jump from there. Finally filled. Okay. Only 1,200 traded it too. Good grief. Why you always got to be doing me dirty like that, Zian, huh? I know I was a little weird earlier, poor decision making, a little fuzzy. Okay, we've atoned. I'm sorry I treated you like that. Now I think, let's get back to the news and, find a good balance down here somewhere lower, huh? China is the Bitcoin bear's biggest friend. As long as Bitcoin can be mined in China, it is quote unquote dirty. Once China bans Bitcoin mining there, the anti-ESG case collapses. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because it will still use tons of power. You guys don't understand. It doesn't matter how clean it is. It's that power being wasted. It doesn't matter how clean it is. Yeah, I think there's a real problem here. I'm looking at the cryptocurrency market here, and I think they're a little bit in denial. They're a little bit in denial. E-Mini though, E-Mini is saying no, we don't want to sell today, huh? Bitcoin dropping, fire. Well, there was a pretty good drop. It looks like the book is kind of stabilizing over there. It's hard to tell from just a chart, but and with such a segmented market, but that's kind of the pattern. It looks like so we'll see where they go from there. I think that a further sell would be justified, but the cryptocurrency market is fighting it hard. Big orders here in both the 5 and the 10. Yeah. The E-Mini though looking okay. We'll see. I don't know. Like that. So this is a kind of a pretty decent pullback, and it looks like the trend might flip back up in the E-Mini, but it's on very little cumulative delta. So I believe that one could be, yeah, that one could just be the vacuum effect. Vlad says he just saw the Bitcoin move too, yeah. Well, it's from 31 to 38, the end of the world. I don't know. Hey, there's a good tick down right there. Come on, 30 years, you gonna join us? The water's warm, huh? Come on. Come on. Oh, you weren't watching. See, that's what you get, huh? Isn't it like that with everything though, Vlad? It's like the instant that you're off, and then the market does it. Just like today is like, oh, the one time that I'm like totally 100% like not planning things out and being stupid, and I missed like a great opportunity to go short. It was just ugh. It is still hot in this room, by the way. Okay, so there they pushing the open again. Uh-oh. So I'm seeing something here in the book. I don't know. It's a pattern I've seen before. I don't really know if it's really a thing or not, but you see these kind of ladders where it's like every even price, there's a lot more volume there. You know, really see that to the same extent on the upside. As though they've got shorts and they've all got targets sitting down here below. Okay, that was a break of the low in the E-mini. So that move up was the vacuum. I think that we're looking better and better at a possible plunge. Yeah, and as it does it, the Bitcoin is going to, man. So they're about to touch 3,700. Live Squawk says cryptocurrency holders take on central banks at their peril. Yep. Ethereum down 11% now. Where's my thing? They were up there at the top. They were like up 5%, and now Bitcoin is down 6%, and Ethereum is down 11% on the day. Yeah, ouch. Big ouch. $10K at 13. Do you think it will test 28 to 30K? Well, it's impossible to know, ADA. I sure hope it does, though. I think that would be fun. Sorry if you own. If you're a holder, I apologize. But I think it would be fun to go down to 30K. So here's the thing. What do we know? Okay. It's really hard to price Bitcoin, right? There's not a lot of, the whole market moves as a whole. They all kind of follow Bitcoin. So what should Bitcoin be worth based on the things? I don't know. But what we do know is that China continues to come out and put negative headlines out, and that they just put a headline out there and that the market is reacting to it. We also know that there was a pretty big decline in price earlier in the week, that people bought that dip and believe that it was going to go back up to the highs. That was like the dominant prevailing narrative. So here in Bitcoin, they're having a pretty ugly down move here. This definitely has the possibility. It's definitely within the realm of possibility for it to do that, for it to come and dump down to 30,000 and then break below 30,000, which will probably cause a really big stop run. So the treasuries are kind of backing up here a little bit now. Perhaps because they're sensing the risk-off sentiment coming in. And because they're above that huge order there, I think I'm actually just going to bail on this one. Yeah, because I don't know if that's going to get filled out. If I get filled out, then it can take it like that, but... It'd be very curious here. It sucks that I have to end the stream here in about 10 minutes because this looks ugly and I would like to continue watching it. But you know what? You can join us in Discord. There's a link in the video description for our Discord, one of the oldest running, most popular free futures trading focused Discords out there. And I'll continue, talking over there. Anonymous one says it's not going to touch 30K. It's going to bounce from 35. How do you know? How do you know? I don't know, man. I just don't think that if somebody has information and they know that the price of Bitcoin is going to go down, I don't think that they care about your magic line, Or just hoping. Oh, okay. I get you. Well, 35, I mean, with the way, so here's something, a theory of mine, if you will, okay? Just a theory, though, all right? The more that you see technical analysis work for a market, the less efficient it is. And the less developed it is. So I'd say cryptocurrencies is a pretty unsophisticated, undeveloped market. And it does seem to react in short term to levels pretty clear, pretty almost exact, like that they stopped almost exactly at 30K, right? So when in the treasury market, it doesn't do that. It does not do that. It's like this is why treasuries are so great to start on, because any little illusion that you have about being able to predict what it's going to do, it will defy. That's just the way she is. Oh, really? Zero Hedge tweeting that it is 11 p.m. on a Friday in China, and the vice premier is discussing Bitcoin. Basically saying that's suspicious. I would agree with him. It does look to me like China is specifically trying to harm cryptocurrencies here. Yes, there is. This guy says there isn't better technology when it comes to Bitcoin. You're delusional. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You just don't know about it. And Okay, E-mini's still pushing lows here. Good title. Any last minute thoughts? Well, big thought going through my mind still with the E-mini here is that there is a pretty significant amount of gamma flip at 41.75. And if the market is deciding because of economic numbers that were released today that we're still concerned about inflation, then there is a good possibility of the downtrend continuing here in the E-mini, and it could get really ugly, Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those things where you have a really strong, crazy move going into the close, like we had, what was it, Tuesday? Like earlier in the week. So another thing I'm thinking about in cryptocurrencies is you could be careful over weekends, right? Like, crazy things happen over weekends. Some big guys will try to make moves when they're trying to move price. It hasn't been unusual to see significant price declines over the weekend too, which I don't know why you would want to do that, but they have some ideas about the way markets are that aren't exactly accurate, and eventually it's going to come and bite them in the butt. This could be the time when it does it, So I would be careful of that too. Man, this guy. So I tweeted to Zero Hedge talking about this. They were saying, oh, well, it would be better when China finally bans it because then they can't say that it's not coming from renewable energy. And I said, it doesn't matter how clean it is. It's still an enormous power usage when better technology to do it cheaper already exists today from other coins. And somebody responded to me, Halloween Jack, some random Twitter guy, there isn't better technology when it comes to Bitcoin. You're delusional. So I responded, I'm like reading that, I'm like, you are clueless, because anybody that's involved in the cryptocurrency market has to know that, like, the Bitcoin blockchain is not very efficient, and that almost every other coin is better at that, right? So if you're that misinformed about the crypto market, you probably shouldn't be trading it. Ethereum, Cardano, Ripple, many top coins get the job done more efficiently than Bitcoin. I'm just like reading back through that thread and thinking, like, what is wrong? What is this guy thinking? What is this guy thinking? But a lot of people liking and pushing that particular thread. More efficiently is too small of a word to describe it. Some of the coins you listed use a fraction of a percent of electricity that Bitcoin is using. Yes. He's saying, when I say that there's more efficient ways of doing it, he's saying, like, that's a huge understatement. Bitcoin is so inefficient compared to its competitors. This guy says, get what job done? I think you're misinformed on why people buy and hold Bitcoin. It does its job just fine. Yes, that's right. That's right. They don't care about the environmental impact. I love arguing with people that are stupid. Eduardo, what is the most viewers you've gotten here on the stream at once? Seth, you deserve way more. I think I had a stream where I had 4,000 viewers. Yeah. So you know what? And it kind of hurts a little bit to have to admit this to yourself. But the reality of the situation is that there's just not that many people that are interested in watching something like this. It's not that I haven't had my chance. It's not like I didn't have that viral moment where a bunch of people saw the channel and had the chance to subscribe and that rocketed you to fame and everything. It's not like I haven't had YouTube videos that do well. So I have a video about trading computer hardware that does extremely well. And, we get a lot of subscribers. We're almost to 6,000 now. But yeah, there's a lot of traders and stuff that are like in the hundreds of thousands. And you're like, well, how do you get there? Well, most people don't want to sit for 3 hours and watch treasury markets and talk about news and economics and stuff. There's just not a lot of people that are interested in that. That's just the reality of it. So probably will always be really niche and small. But you know what? That's okay. For our trading, that's probably better, right? Because when you get too many people on the trade, that hurts the trade. There's a limited amount of money that you can make from any one inefficiency, and if too many people trade it, it removes the inefficiency. I'm waiting here on... Its job was to be a currency. It's now a store of value, and basically internet gold. Other altcoins will become what Bitcoin was supposed to be, a currency. So I think people are delusional about what will make or keep something a store of value. Okay, if other coins do the job better and become more popular, then Bitcoin is going to go down, and it's no longer a store of value, right? Man. Well, I won't bore you guys with while I'm typing that. I think that Bitcoin made a really critical mistake when they tried to go the way of we're a store of value. I really do. All right, guys. Well, it's time for me to go. I think the title is fine. We did okay today. We had there. It's a Friday though, so it's a little quieter than it normally would be. Hey, guys. Get some good rest. Next week might be interesting. We are coming into the summer though. Like it's coming. You're new to trading. Be aware the summer really sucks for trading. Can really suck for trading. All right. I will see you guys on Monday though. And in the meantime, stay